Hey everyone, welcome to another night of Trek After Dark. I am Big J along with Cheeto, and I wish you would put an actual name, like something real up there. I am Job. What does that even mean?
I am Job. Have you never seen Mrs. Doubtfire? It's a
Well,
classic.
yes, but it's been a while.
Well,
Yeah,
anyway,
it's been a long
I
while.
am Job.
How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm not doing so bad.
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Yeah, it's been a good night. The weather has been nice out here where I am. The kids are out of school for the summer, so that hit me like a ton of bricks of, oh no, got the kids every day now. What do we do with them? Keep them entertained. So it's sports and all the running around.
You know, NerdTube has a huge catalog of videos that they can watch.
I don't know if I trust that.
I wouldn't.
I still say the Valium in the drinks is the best idea. Keep
Yeah,
them quiet all day long.
I don't know if I should. Okay, so if just hypothetically speaking, and I'm asking for a friend, if one were to give a child Valium, what dosage are we talking? Is it like a 5 milligram or like a 10 milligram cut in two, or do you mix it with?
How long do you want them to be quiet?
Yeah. No, I would. Just for the record, I would never do that.
Yeah, we are not advocating you actually go and drug your kids.
Yeah, that's all we need is a takeaway from this podcast is, look, Big J wanted to drug his kids. No, we're not doing that.
God, I wish my kids did do drugs. They might chill out a little bit.
Really? You need kids to chill?
Mine are 15 and 17 at this point. I can say whatever the hell I want.
Yeah.
So.
I've got 18, 9, and 6. And it's rough because the 9-year-old is a girl. So she's 9 going on 20, 21. Bossy daddy's girl. Oh man, does she give me hell.
I have one of those. My daughter is just like, I call her little mama.
Oh yeah. So yeah, it's, oh, Alexander, just you wait. Just you wait.
Yeah,
how old is your young?
He's only 5 months. 5 months.
5 months.
Yeah.
17 years and 7 months to go, baby.
Yep. You might as well just start counting it down now. Just put up a calendar. 17 years and 7 months.
Yeah.
To go.
It's already on my calendar. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, you said 4 months old?
Road.
I've set a reminder on my calendar. So, on his 18th birthday, it's like, get out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's, I mean, I wonder now if it really never gets any easier, I don't think, because I've got my oldest is 18. He's just graduated recently. So he's out of school and working and all that stuff. And, I don't know. It's like any more these days. Well, you can't afford to live. So it's like, he may not be moving out, which I don't blame him because cost of living is so damn high. It's ridiculous. Well, let's talk about some Star Trek. And for those of you that are in our audience tonight, thank you very much for joining us. We're going to talk about some Star Trek, which is going to be a crazy thing for us to talk about Star Trek. And we're going to make the commitment now to try as hard as we can not to get into gaming. Okay? I'm serious.
Listen, that's my jam.
No. Focus. We're not doing gaming tonight. If you do, you're going to your room. We're going to talk about Star Trek.
All right.
You can talk about Star Trek games. There's a plethora of them.
Where's the mute button? That's it. I've had it. I've already had it. Now, so tomorrow is the last episode of Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah, so it is. So
wow.
I'm wondering how they're going to wrap that up, because it feels, from the last episode, it feels like it's still got so far to go.
In a way, it kind of does, sort of. By the way, I was talking to my son about this earlier today. We were talking about the last episode and just how awesome was it that Discovery crashed through the shields of that Breen dreadnought to get into their freaking cargo like hangar bay, and Discovery is not a small ship either.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Oh,
If you have just give them due warning. If you have not seen last week's episode of Discovery, go away.
yeah, I keep forgetting that. That's obviously
No.
any Star Trek that happened before the day and time that you're watching this live stream could be spoiled.
Yes.
So just
Yes.
buyer
but
beware,
yes.
watcher beware.
Going back to what you're saying, that was I actually like that. I don't think that's ever been done before. And did you notice how they tucked the nacelles in so that they were actually inboard of the half
like the
half struts. Yeah, the
nacelle supports.
The strut. Well, yeah, they're not really, because the nacelles just float there now. So they're not really supports anymore. I would call them
just use
pylons.
magnets.
I used to call
it's
them
still
pylons,
Bluetooth tethered.
No, okay, Bluetooth pylons. There you go.
Bluetooth pylons. But so that was
I
pretty
thought
awesome.
that was quite cool. No, that was pretty good. It's just as awesome as the is it the first episode where we see them basically
nosedive into the ground.
Nosedive into the ground to deflect the avalanche.
I just call that the Wing Commander carrier maneuver.
Oh yeah,
it's what I did in Wing Commander when I.
Hey, Cheeto.
I'm not talking about games. I'm talking about the maneuver.
Nope. You brought.
So are we going to call that the
right.
Burnham maneuver? No, would that? Oh no, wait.
One.
That would be the.
No. That's just a kick out offense.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I played Wing Commander. I don't remember that maneuver.
Oh, here we go.
When you go inside the carriers and you start shooting them from inside the hangar bays. Yeah,
I do it all the time. Okay.
Yeah, you cheese that. Anyway, what? Why am I forgetting the first officer's name? I'm so bad with names.
Commander
Rayner. Yeah.
Commander Rayner.
We called the Rayner maneuver at this point because isn't he the one that did it? Because Burnham wasn't on the ship.
Yeah, he's the one that came up with it. So
we got the Rayner maneuver now.
But it's the Burnham show, so it has to be the Burnham maneuver.
No. Hey Brian, I play Wing Commander on my channel Milquetoast Gaming. Just saying. If you a whole marathon playlist, baby, of Wing Commander.
Okay, I tried my hardest. I've lost. We are 9 minutes in, and I've lost control of the live stream.
I'm not talking about games. I'm talking about my channel.
Did you ever
that's good. Well, yeah, I might
life
have to.
Is an illusion.
I might
Control
have to
doubly so.
Yeah, I may have to abruptly end this soon, so we might have to do one of the patented Big J abrupt endings. But
if there was a black SUV following me home from work today.
You too? Oh, they got you this time?
Oh yeah.
Yep. I was making all kinds of right and left turns, and they were following me, and I think it might have been a CBS van, but we'll have to see. But and we were so my son and I were talking about that maneuver, flying into the Breen ship, and also he was talking about how all the stuff, the whole chase and the clues and everything else, like it leads to a portal that goes somewhere else to do another thing. And I told him, I said, well, we just have to see what happens. There's no telling what's at the other end of that portal.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting.
Yes. But here's the thing though. There's going to be resolution. I'm confident of that. There's nothing that Star Trek has done. Well, okay, let me reword that. I have no reason to think that we're not going to get a resolution in this last episode of what's going on, the plot threads. It's not going to end with still trying to find the progenitor tech.
Oh no,
I'm saying there's going to be an end game.
Exactly, yeah, and it's definitely what's inside that portal.
Okay, but can I ask a quick question then? I mean,
sure.
Since we're speculating a little bit.
Yep.
Not even really speculating, but like just like a. So what technology are they using for that portal? Because let's go back. Okay, so they hid the progenitor technology back in, what did they say, the late 23rd century, right?
Yeah, it seems to be round about Nemesis, Dominion wartime.
So late 24th.
Yeah, late 24th century. Yeah.
So the late 24th century. So what technology are they using? Because like if you think about it, what technology do we see besides like some weird ancient technology or something like that, like where they have a portal, type thing, or they are using PIM tech. Yeah. I mean, that could be. But like that is my question. Like, are they using like the Borg portal technology that they assimilated from the one species in Voyager, the one that could like, or are they using some kind of technology that takes them into a pocket dimension like they had in the first episode with with our shady glasses, like I'm bad with names, I'm sorry guys. So
yeah,
but that's what I'm saying, like what tech are we using, like what tech in Star Trek in that era? We are very familiar with that era. So what technology in the late 24th century are they using to hide, to portal this progenitor tech? It seems like they go into like this parallel dimension or this pocket dimension, or they're transporting somewhere really far away or something.
I think we'll find out in this episode because obviously Burnham's not gone.
Right.
She's gone wherever the other Breen and Maul have gone.
Wouldn't that be a weird ending if like she died going in there and then the last episode is just about Raynor, like
it's like yeah, they're all dead. Oh, okay. Well,
I'm willing to bet that whatever the answer is in regards to what that tech is it's something that we have seen in TNG or DS9 or Voyager that we're just drawn a blank on. Like I can picture different things that it may be. I can't quite cite episode names. It's just a vision, but I'm sure that I know there's been something that we've come across during that time that explains what they're doing and how they have it. This won't be something that completely contradicts what we know of the late 24th century technology. I trust in the writing that if they're going to explore it, it will be one of those, oh yeah, that makes sense. Something like that.
Okay. I just was curious because I'm sitting there going, like when they originally opened it up and they stepped through the portal, it was green. So I'm like, and remember that in Picard season 1, Picard used the Borg Queen transport like portal thingy to go to Riker's planet. So I mean, like maybe it's something like that. That might be something that they had access to back then, but it was still kind of a Borg thing. So like, I don't know how they'd have access to it.
There's another more traditional character race that uses green a lot. Actually, there's two. The Klingons and more than likely the Romulans. We know that a Romulan scientist was involved with so maybe it's some sort of Romulan tech.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But like, I think it's got to be something new or different that we never even saw yet in Picard or in Lower Decks or in Prodigy.
They used artificial quantum singularities for
warp drive
for their warp drives. So who knows? They've probably got portal tech or something like that. They probably found an Iconian portal and retro.
Right, that could be
reverse engineered it.
Or they
made it green because they're Romulan.
Made it green because they like it green.
Or they could have picked up something from you remember Me when Beverly got caught up in that bubble that Wesley and the Traveler had created. There's that something like that, or some variation of that. So that. Yeah, like I said, whatever it is, whatever they come up with is going to fit well within what we know of late 24th century.
Spatial trajectory is an interesting idea because Voyager would have brought back knowledge of that, but we don't know exactly when this progenitor stuff was hidden. Was it before, during, or after the Dominion War? Because I know the Dominion War is mentioned.
I got the impression it was during.
I think it was during, and Voyager was still in the Delta Quadrant at that point. So I don't think they would have had spatial trajectory tech.
Well, but the other thing is that how much time would it have taken to set all of this up? That's the other thing is it could have been all right during the Dominion War. Right, during the Dominion War, oh shit, we need to hide this stuff. We've got to come up with a way we're going to hide it and all of that. that's a process that could take quite some time. It may have been that from the start of we need to hide this, which is during the Dominion War, to somewhere along the way, it could have been after Voyager had come back and there was information that was that was captured from there. And that's a whole other thing.
It's possible.
We don't know the time frame from when, oh shit, we have to hide this stuff, to okay, we're done with the hiding. That's all finished.
Yeah,
that could be a span of.
We know they made the decision during the war.
It was during the Dominion War. Yes.
But how long did it take him to execute that? Yeah, so that's an excellent question. That
I mean, it kind of begs the question: is what should we have gotten a flashback, at least of like not a whole episode, but like just a flashback of kind of how some of these events went down. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it would have been nice.
I don't think we have the time.
I know, because you only got 10 episodes. It's like, man, like,
hey, we might even get
started with what, 15, 17 episodes?
This would be the time. I think if we're going to get any kind of
it'll be this episode
flashbacks or setup, anything that goes over and reviews that process, this is the episode they're saving it for. If they even go so far as to feel like we need to see more of the process, which I don't know that we do. But like we said, 10 episode season, you've got to be, well, you would think that you need to be kind of, discriminatory on what you get into and what you spend time on. But there's been a lot of fluff. I mean, there's been enough fluff where it's like, okay, this is more valuable to know than, racing through the woods with a bowl of water. Stuff like that. So
I like that episode. I thought it was pretty good.
That was basically the Voyager episode where Janeway tortures herself.
Hey, I've seen this one. It's a classic. What do you mean you've seen it? It's brand new.
I get that reference and I appreciate it. I'm not giving it away to anybody who's like, huh?
Right.
I actually don't like that movie as much as a lot of people do. So
hey, fair enough. Everybody has their favorites.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be an exciting finish to Discovery, and
indeed.
And a lot of disco haters are going to be excited because it's finally over.
It's finally over, yeah. So I hope all of you folks that started the Not My Trek hashtag are happy. Discovery is about to be over. So what's the next thing? What's the next?
I mean, technically, next show is Starfleet Academy. They're going to do a long trek called Section 31. But
are we supposed to start hating Starfleet Academy? Is that right?
Yeah. Oh, they already do. Are you kidding me?
Okay.
This isn't what we want. We want Legacy.
Right.
And I mean, don't get me wrong. I want Legacy too. I think it's a great idea for a show. But
Academy could be good.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be.
My only problem is the time frame, which is set. But we've already talked about that.
I saw people already hating on Section 31 just from that one picture that was released.
From one picture.
Oh, there's not enough Terran Empire in that picture.
No, so someone said, and I quote, "This looks like this looks like it's a shit production."
Hold on a minute, Brian. Go to your room. Legacy does not sound lame. All right.
Legacy. Brian doesn't like anything.
Let me put it this way. I think Starfleet Academy sounds more interesting than Legacy.
I'm sorry, interesting, yes.
Legacy, like, okay, so and follow me here. Like, I have no problem with most of the characters on where we left things in Picard season 3.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be more of like Strange New Worlds and stuff like that we've already got before. Starfleet Academy is something brand spanking new that we're kind of like the only thing that's ever done it. And I'm not going to mention a game, but it is a said game that we've ever really done before. On top of that, they kind of ventured a little bit. They just did the tip in Wrath of Khan, where we were, we did a lot with the, cadets and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
And we've seen bits and bobs of the Academy all the way through Trek. So, yeah, it would be nice to actually. It might be interesting to have a full series based on it.
Just don't turn it into 90210 Trek. Yeah, make it.
I was just drawing breath to say that.
Yeah, like I hate it when people say, "I don't need 90210 Trek." I'm like, you don't even know if it's going to be that. Like,
yeah, right. Who says? Let's.
I mean, if it
why
is,
do we assume that?
Yeah, if it is, you were right, and I won't like it either. But I'm at least giving it the chance because I think it's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
Yes.
People are already, and I've noticed on Reddit, people are already setting themselves up for disappointment because there's already discussions saying what new ships of the line are they going to design for the Academy show? What's going to be the latest? And some of it'll be the latest battle cruiser, blah 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 blah. No, Academies have beaten up old ships that are no longer useful for line work.
Yeah, they're going to put them on the ISS Enterprise. If anything,
I think that's a setup for that. Because why introduce that in that episode and have it fly off and then never heard from again in the series?
Well,
I would like special note to be made that today is May 29th, 7:22 p.m. EST. Big J predicts that in Starfleet Academy in the show that the ISS Enterprise is going to be used as the training vessel for the cadets.
But why? The ship is so old.
That's the point. It's just a ship.
What the hell do you think they're going to do with it?
It's too old to be used.
It's just it could just be lore building. Like what happened to the ISS Enterprise after the Mirror episode.
I mean, yes,
they can go places with it.
That's absolutely possible. Yeah, but I wonder I do wonder if it's not going to be that. Actually, and now that Big J's mentioned it, I'm like, that would make sense. Oh my goodness, HMS Rodney. That was an ugly battleship. Not one of the Royal Navy's finest. If that's what Brian is.
Excuse me. This is an American live stream. Let's leave the British stuff out of it.
We had Enterprise first.
Over there. You did not. We were the first ones to have the Enterprise.
No, we had the first Enterprise.
Oh,
it was a captured.
I'm pretty sure
from the French Enterprise, and it was renamed HMS Enterprise.
Ours was the USS Enterprise. Yours was what the BC. What is it? BCS over there? What?
Oh, some made up thing called HMS.
Yeah, HMS. Yeah, no, it's
His Majesty's ship.
Her Majesty's ship. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was the first naval enterprise. Because they captured a French ship called L'Enterprise. So it was the very first naval enterprise, and we've had more enterprises concurrently than the U.S. Navy. We still have an Enterprise now.
Call INS, somebody, please. Where are you? Just stay where you are. Stay right there.
I mean, he's in space. Okay. Can't you see behind him?
Right, he's in space.
That was quick. I'm getting swatted. Hey, that would be a neat trick, seeing that most of our police are not armed.
True.
We do have armed police, but you really, really have to aggravate them to have them come out.
Yeah, they'll just come in and beat you with their billy clubs.
Right.
And pepper spray and tasers. We have tasers. They love their tasers.
Puts on the hood of the police cruiser and start beating figure eights in the back of your head. Yeah, in America, you don't have to really do much of anything to get shot at.
No, not really at all. I mean,
yeah. Not to go too far into that, but I understand why some cops have itchy trigger fingers. I have seen absolutely normal, run-of-the-mill traffic stops go from absolutely normal to shit crazy in seconds.
Well, here's the other thing. It takes more time to go through and graduate barber school than it does to be a cop.
It takes...
It's easy. Yeah. Like it's nothing.
Yeah, our police go through a proper academy and everything like that. It's a national academy for Scotland, national academy for police down south. Then
we're just handing them guns.
Police, yeah, and they go through rigorous training.
Rigorous training.
They're also vetted as well. I actually got an application.
This is crazy talk. This is crazy talk. I don't know where it is you are, but that sounds like socialism. It's horrible.
I love how socialism is suddenly a really bad word.
Are you making a livable wage? How many managers do you have? Do you live with your parents? If you can't answer correct to any of that stuff, then that means that you need some democracy. You need to not be living. If you're making enough to live on, and you have your own domicile, or I'm sorry, your own flat. then we need to send you some democracy. Yeah.
Wilhelm Sausers earlier said he was asking about Starfleet Marines, a show about Starfleet Marines work. Maybe a movie. I mean, I love the Makos from Enterprise, but
the Marines, the Marines were disbanded once the Federation became a thing, and Starfleet took over. There are no Marines, so all these. That's one thing that really annoyed me back in the back when Enterprise first started. Suddenly, all the play by email RPG groups and everything, they all had a Marine detachment on their ships. It's like, dude, the Marines haven't existed for 250 years.
Right.
You know.
Well, I think that the implication is supposed to be, and by the way, so Stephen Ross, thank you very much for your contribution to the channel. Always appreciate it. I get the impression that it was assumed that if you're going to be a security officer on a starship, that you be trained well enough to where you're not supposed to have to be in a special unit.
Yeah.
Like your everyday security officer should be just as good as a Mako without having to be called a Mako, not have to be something special.
Yeah,
exactly.
Starfleet wasn't that refined back then. I bet you they refined it when they started integrating more cultures into the Federation and Starfleet.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
once it was officially chartered by the Federation, that it all just got merged into one big massive group. And to what Stephen was saying, just to show it again, the Constellation class USS Stargazer would be over 800 years old. That's a little bit
over
too
900,
old.
I think, because that was in the Lost era, right? So,
well, I think the point that he's probably making is it's newer than the Constitution class ship that they're sitting on.
True, and technically newer than Discovery, although Discovery was overhauled and
given
given
a refit.
I mean,
they're going to have a hard time using it. I get setting it up as okay, we'll see the ship again, but you guys are right. At the end of the day, you're totally right that 900 years is just far too old for a training ship for the Academy. It's not going to happen. They're going to go on like a tour, like a visit.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Thing.
This is what the tech used to look like.
I want it to be more like Deep Space Nine. I want them to be like in like I want them to be at Federation HQ or wherever Starfleet Academy is going to be. And then I mean, they can go like away, like they did it in some episodes with Runabouts and the Defiant and stuff like that. But like for the majority, I want it to be at Federation HQ, or at least a branch of Federation HQ. I want to see Admiral Vance. You know, I want to see. I want to see them interact with some of the current, like, because there's always that element of like fish out of water when you're on Discovery, you know what I mean? But like around all them, like we can actually immerse ourselves in this 32nd century environment. That's kind of what I want.
And that's why I'm very surprised anytime I hear pushback in regards to when the Starfleet Academy show takes place. Like, why isn't it during the after Picard season 3? It's because you've got more story right now. Earth just rejoined the Federation. A lot of planets just rejoined the Federation. Starfleet Academy is literally new. They hadn't had an academy for
150 years, like since before the burn, or
since
after the burn.
So it's new. That's where your story is doing it then.
And we know that their resources are limited. Yes.
Right.
Yes. They don't have money in this as per usual, but the resources still need to be gathered. They still need to be traded for with something.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have the resources. They've got precious little ships, so they're not going to take one of their operational ships and use it for Academy. So they're going to have to do something else.
And that's actually a really good point, because the Federation is still coming off of the burn and being pretty much a B-list organization,
Yeah.
maybe even C-list organization. So it would kind of put a little bit more emphasis on, like, it'll be a New Hope scenario, because
Right.
like everybody's like, well, why did the rebellion only have some X-wings and Y-wings at their main base? Rogue One explained that, you know what I mean? Like, why? So it's like, yeah. So like, let's say that the Battle of Scarif is like the burn, and then that explains why the Federation doesn't have a lot of ships right now, and we can actually feel that, because right now it's like, yeah, it doesn't feel like that, because it's like, oh, well,
I mean,
Discovery's jumping all over the place. It can be anywhere instantly, but you really don't feel the scope of how thin their forces are, and not forces, but you know what I mean? The Federation, how thin the Federation is.
Yeah, when the headquarters was threatened by the Breen dreadnought, there are only about 2-3 ships managed to get there to lend a hand, just in case it went down to a firefight.
Starfleet is still finding a way to manage to be outgunned and outclassed in situations where,
I mean, you saw
have
what
they
happened
not
to the
learned
fleet.
their lesson? Learn the lesson. Why do you keep finding a way to present yourself with complete annihilation? Why would you know that the Breen or any power has a ship that fucking big? Why don't you have Starfleet ships that are matching that size? Stay at scale,
or at least the power. Yeah,
or at least the power. Stop setting yourselves up to where
you're forgetting that the entire, almost the entire fleet self-destructed during the burn. They all went.
That wasn't specific to Starfleet.
That was all everywhere, and
everywhere.
Some races prioritized strength over others. The Federation fractured, and everybody was it was basically, every man for themselves. Every race for themselves, basically. Even the Vulcans left. I mean, they were founding members. So you had a ragtag bunch of people who still trying to keep Starfleet running, and they had very limited resources, and they were just running on ships that survived the burn.
I mean, how were the Breen able to have the resources to construct a ship like that, and Starfleet doesn't?
Because I think go ahead.
Yeah, they're empirical. They conquer.
Yeah, I was about to say they take the resources, whereas the Federation is just kind of suffering through. Like they're not willing to go around and just take resources from people that they need, because there was dilithium left. It's not like there was no dilithium. Like, there were ships still using dilithium, and there were other modes of I mean, the Breen freaking had transwarp, apparently, like transwarp gates. That's something they kind of glossed over in what was it, last episode or the one before?
Yes,
that's a good point.
It's a uniform. I've had this debate with someone else on a Facebook group. It's a uniform. Why they didn't need the helmets when we saw them in Deep Space Nine, where you even said that their planet is actually quite comfortable.
Yeah,
they use it for intimidation purposes, and it's a uniform. Why do Starfleet officers wear Starfleet uniforms on Starfleet ships when it's all Starfleet officers?
Yeah, because the Breen are Star Trek's Mandalorians. That's all it is.
I don't know about that.
It's their religion. The Breen wearing the helmets and all that. That's like their culture. That's their religion, just like the Mandalorians.
Because we see in one of the episodes where we get a flashback where Maul gets introduced to Locke. It's a bit of a big thing that he takes his helmet off.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Just like Din Djarin.
Din Djarin, yes.
Taking his helmet. Yeah. You're not supposed to do that.
This is not a Star Wars podcast, everybody.
Listen, you talk about gaming. I'm going to talk about Star Wars for a moment, just to make my point.
Well, I'm going to talk about Blake 7.
No. Listen, I'm in control of this place. I'm going to start muting people.
No.
He will turn this podcast right around.
I will abruptly end this right now if you guys don't start behaving. You want me to do that? Okay. So, you have factions that probably go without the helmet, just like there are factions of Mandalorians that don't buy into the whole "you can never see my face" thing. And with the Breen, I take it as the same thing. It's more than just a uniform.
Yep. Outside, it's tradition inwards, and outside it serves as a form of intimidation because no one knows what they look like. Well, we now know, but
I was about to say, I think that's more it. They're just very secretive and reclusive. I mean, look at the Romulans. No one had seen the Romulans up until Balance of Terror.
Right.
Like nobody had seen them. So
and then they were shocked that it looked like Spock.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it's just isolationist, paranoid races and stuff like that. I mean, it's just a thing. They feel like that they can't show themselves because any information that gets out about them is a weakness or is a target. So they wear the masks and stuff like that. Probably just be like, well, we don't want them to know we're like kind of like a gelatinous race because because they might figure out a way to hurt us biologically. I mean, look what they did to the founders.
Maybe that's why the founders. I saw one person suggest in that debate that I was having online that maybe that's why the founders took to the Breen so readily.
It is a very, and I mean, you can't say that like
gelatinous.
Yeah, just because they're obviously not shapeshifters. I mean, they're not. But they're still gelatinous. So like, they're kind of like cousins, like in a way. You know what I mean? Just
indeed, they're not quite solid, so they're more trustworthy than the solids.
Yes, they're the happy go-between.
Well, let's remind ourselves that here today, in our world, we have cultures that wear garbs or clothing or something that is not just uniform, is part of their culture. So we're living that right now. What the Breen are doing, that's not something that is outside of the scope of reality.
Really? No,
because we live in societies and cultures now where, like, if you show your face, you're gonna get stoned. There's shot or something. There's consequences, and there's people that have like all that stuff. So we're living it now.
I mean, really, like you can pretty much draw a line between, a lot of like nationalities and a lot of cultures in the world today to most of the races in Star Trek. I mean, the Klingons, you kind of got like the Russians, the Romulans are kind of more like the Japanese, the Ferengi are like the Americans, stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah, y'all thought I was going to be like, oh, the Federation's like America. No, let's be real. Like that's Norway,
Yeah.
Norway's the Federation.
We're not going to kid ourselves at all. The analogy for the Federation is not America, not in any shape or form. We are
the Ferengi,
basically Siamese twins with the Ferengi.
I've always said that.
Have always said that. As soon as the Ferengi were invented and
fleshed out.
I'm not talking about fleshed out. I'm not talking Last Outpost here. When they were fleshed out, the way that we know them now, it immediately took. That's the comparison. You might have been able to be patriotic and say, "Oh, the Federation is like America."
No,
not after the Ferengi got fleshed out. Then that's what it is.
1,000. And I mean, there's an argument for like America, maybe like 70, 80 years ago, maybe.
Sure,
maybe there's a hint, but like no, like there's no way America right now is like the Federation at all. Period. Brian says that the Klingons were based on Vikings, which I can see. A
lot of people call them space Vikings.
Yeah.
So I can see that. I totally get that. Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Here's our claim to fame.
What race would be the UK? I'm trying to think what race has like a real like a monarchy that like is pretty consistent. I don't know.
Are you what Star Trek race would be like
the
who?
UK?
The UK?
Like
monarchy based?
Maybe not race, but like organization. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's not very many. I mean, what's Billups's in
You know
lower
what-
decks? What's
you know
his
what the
race?
f-
I
was
remember.
gonna say the first thing that popped in my head when you said that, I thought Vulcan, but Billups
For the
is
UK?
people. I don't know why it popped in. That was just the first, like that was the
Listen, race
knee
stance.
jerk.
You're not supposed to think of the first thing that pops in your head, okay?
It was the first thing that popped in my head. What did you do, Ray?
I'm so sorry.
Oh man, yeah.
No, I don't think there is a direct analogy.
Not like Fringy in US. Not a strong bedfellow like that.
Okay, how about no? You know what they are? The British are kind of like the Iconian, or the not the Iconians, the Progenitors. They kind of the British kind of seeded themselves all over the world.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Freaking conquering, taking everything.
Because didn't they say the Progenitors were originally like a very aggressive, or is that the Iconians were an aggressive?
The Iconians used their portal technology to go anywhere, anytime they wanted, and they could take anything they wanted. So there was apparently they actually, you know,
Cardassians.
British doctrine at the time was make the world Britain. So, and that's what the Iconians did.
What
they
Star
made
Trek race would be Canadians?
Ooh.
What's the nicest race? Like
the nicest,
and they say sorry all the time.
Riser.
Ooh, Risons, yeah. Well,
okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, they're nice.
I was gonna say either that or Beta Zeds. They've always come off as very nice and polite and friendly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Apart from
Cardassians. I mean, industrialist. Like, because Cardassia is very like.
Cardassia is the Russians.
Yeah. So then, would that make the Klingons more like the? Well, I guess the Klingons would be more like Vikings.
The Vorta are two later, in addition to the Star Trek universe. We're talking about the fundamental.
Yeah.
The big.
That's what this podcast has turned into.
Yep.
We're gonna one for one all the races with the nationalities of the world and cultures of the world.
But if we're using Cardassians, they came in later with TNG and whatnot. So.
I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to think. Russia. I mean, China. China's a big like industrial and very like organizational. Like not organization, but like they're really like progressing. And Cardassia before the fall, well, like with the Klingons and the Dominion, they were really like, I don't want to say progressive as in like culture, progressive as in like they were expanding fast and making themselves a like territorial power. And even in TNG, because that's when the border wars were going on with the Federation.
Hey, real quick, look, I'm not the only one that had Vulcans pop in when talking about UK. See,
there's another name backstage. Me and Cheeto were talking about how you pronounce names. How do you pronounce that one?
Whoops, sorry.
Oh no, you do it.
Okay.
Olam Drab.
Olive.
I say
Olam. Yeah, Olam Drab.
Olam Drab. That's how I think it's pronounced.
Alec has always said olive drab.
Oh.
So we'll let them correct us if we're wrong. But I'm going to say something controversial here. Right.
Wait, Andorians are Italians. I can see that. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
China. Packlids. China's always copying.
Ooh. That's oh man, that's a little.
They don't give a rat's ass about copyright.
Well, I mean that's true, but I really think the Cardassians in China
controversial.
I just here's the problem. The Chinese are not so unintelligent that it actually makes them dangerous. That's the problem. The Packlids they're unintelligent to a dangerous level, to where they're like that's what makes them even more threatening than say.
Actually, no, that's a good point.
So Packlet or North Korea. Got it. Okay, moving on.
Oh my God, you're gonna get us bombed. there's going to be nuclear war
Romulans,
now.
I don't think they'd be China because China's not really isolationist. That's why I said Japan, because Japan until about 1900 was pretty much an isolationist country.
Right.
Like they didn't venture outside their wall, like their island until World War One, like even
a little bit before that.
maybe a little bit before that. I know it was not until like the turn of the century.
I
like
mean,
1900.
they had a serious hard-on for China.
Yeah. But that's why I say the Romulans are like China. Like, I just very isolationist, very protective, very...
Sure, I could go with that.
No, I could go with that. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Nazis fit more Nazi type ideology. Cardassians. Okay, well, I mean, there's really no one for one. I mean, there's really not.
No.
Right, and they kind of
except
change
for the
around
Ferengi
a little bit.
and the United States. That's really the only one.
Some races fit perfectly in current earthbound societies, and some are a mishmash.
We need our Grand Nagus Rom is what we need here in the States. We need our Grand Nagus Rom. We don't need Zek. We don't need any more Zeks.
No
we
more
need a
Zeks.
Rom.
Yep.
And
what do you call 1,000 politicians at the bottom of the ocean?
Progress.
A good start.
Okay.
Listen,
there's more than 1,000 of them.
Brick shoes, man. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
speaking of that, did you guys
political.
see the? Oh no, you went there. Have you guys seen the new meme out there? It's the US be like, who are you voting for? And there's a picture of Emperor Palpatine from Revenge of the Sith and Voldemort. Each one with their evil smile.
Yep.
Kind of.
Yeah. I've not seen that, but that does not surprise me. I mean,
you haven't seen it?
No.
If I could figure out how to share, like I know how to share images, kind of, but
yeah, I've not seen that either. But that's quite funny.
Yeah. You guys.
I mean, the same is true. Our Prime Minister's just called a snap election for July 4th. Why
Actually,
July 4th? We don't know.
I better not get in to stick it to us because that's our Independence Day. We better not get into politics because that's gonna, how that goes.
Yeah, it degrades very, very quickly.
People don't know how to behave. It's because we cannot have logical adult discussions over here about anything. Not Star Trek, not politics, not nothing.
No. Rick B, you are wrong. The Indians could not be the Ferengi because the Ferengi are one for one the United States.
Yeah, one for one. There's no debate there on that one.
Really,
I'm gonna have to unhighlight that.
They've taken capitalism and turned it to 11.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's the United States. And then if you go back down to 10, then you'd be the Ferengi.
Almost made me choke on my broth here.
Okay, getting back to Star Trek. Proper.
I mean, we've been talking. We've been
Cisco. Alec made me wait until Big J finally came along, and he's been avoiding this. Cisco. Good character, not a good captain.
I disagree.
I would have to disagree on that. And I know where you're going on this. Usually any discussion about Cisco and the gray area that he lives in comes from his character during the Dominion War. And this is the defense that I give Cisco for his actions. And it all comes from In the Pale Moonlight. If there's any discussion about Cisco, this is my opinion. Any discussion about Cisco and where we talk about his character and any fault in the character, that episode is going to be brought up. Him being a party to murder, to bribery, high crimes.
That's not let me just say that's not the reason why.
Yeah, is it the episode where he's hunting after Eddington?
It's the one where he uses biogenic weapons. That's not Starfleet.
I knew that's exactly where you were going, because
and he also endangered his entire crew for vengeance. Eddington was right in calling him Javert. That's exactly who he is.
I agree with you that he should have called him.
It's a brilliant character, fantastic character line. Not the best captain in all of Star Trek that everybody seems to put him on.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I've always seen Cisco having to have not a different set of rules, but like a different set of, like a different set of settings, not boundaries. I don't know what, because he's not a captain of a starship. He is a captain of a space station that is literally this focal point of a major events that happen within the Federation. And I get it. You're right about the whole obsession with Eddington thing. Did he go a bit far? Yes.
But he had to. Here's the thing. Think about it.
Did he though?
Cisco, yes. Cisco showed us that everyone gets to a point where success is your only option. And you are not leaving until you've succeeded. And it does not matter what it takes to get there. There are a lot of people that would have stopped well before Cisco. The thing that makes Cisco such a strong character is that
his great-great-grandfather.
Yes, his great-great-grandfather, Preston Cisco. Thank you.
I was waiting for my moment to throw that in there.
Thank you. I appreciate the plug there. Thank you. What he showed is that when a person gets to a point where that has to be done, where you have to pull out all the stops to accomplish something, that Cisco can and will do it. It's not his first option. He went through the whole gambit, all of the lists, all the options.
And he gave him several opportunities.
Yes. But see, here's the thing. In order to capture this person, when you've gone through all 9 steps, and step 10 is now what weapons, bioengineered, biomechanical weapons, or I can't remember what it was he fired at the
biogenic.
Biogenic. That's
biogenic. I don't remember the actual name. Was it biogenic or
something like that? He just made the planet inhabitable for humans
50 years.
So here's the thing, though. Look at your captains and take that event as step 10 of what it takes to capture someone. You also have to measure the response of who are you going after and what kind of damage and carnage can that person cause. And here are my 10 steps of what am I willing to go through to get this person. There are a lot of captains, a lot of characters that would not have made it past 5 steps. There are some that would have tapped out after 7 or 8. Where would Kirk have stopped? Would he have gone as far as Cisco did? That's the thing, is Cisco showed you that you don't want to mess with this man. You will be given every opportunity to surrender, to make things worse for yourself, but you're going to get to a point where he's going to make your life, not only your life a living hell, but now suddenly people around him are going to be brought into this carnage also. So you have to ask yourself, how crazy do you want this person to become trying to get you? Now Eddington is thinking to himself, okay, I have pushed this man to this point. I am all up on my high horse talking about the saving lives and doing this, doing that, and everything else. But yet now I've pushed this guy here to step 10. am I at that point where it's my fault now that what Cisco did is my fault, not his fault? That the reason for the over response is because of me. And if I've gotten him to a point where he's willing to destroy planets to get me, okay, then
He
we're on
didn't get that point across.
we're on a whole different field here. It's like, okay, Eddington, I have just now ruined a planet to get your punk ass, and I'm not stopping. So how far do you want to take this?
Well,
and someone's got to give, and it's not going to be Cisco. And
I was about to say that's the risk assessment part of the game, because
right.
I bet you if that was a fully populated planet, he wouldn't have done that. But there were just some insurgents that had already turned their back on the Federation on that planet. And I think honestly, he gave them, because I don't really think anyone died in that. And so I think Cisco knew that they would be able to escape that. But you're right about the one thing about him just saying, like, how far do you want this to go? If that was a fully populated planet, I don't think Cisco would have done it. But since it was like only the insurgents were on that planet, I think he was like, you know what? Let's go in. Let's go all in.
I don't know. And Rick, to answer your question, yes, I can do an impression of Cisco. My favorite is, "You betrayed your uniform," which is exactly which is where we're at right now. But I think that
good defense.
So
good defense.
Yes, he still knew what he was doing. It just
most of the bridge crew really didn't want to go along with it. He had to order Worf to fire twice, and you really don't usually need to tell Worf to fire twice.
Yeah, when you have to, and that's the other thing is, if you're watching a man that had to tell a Klingon twice to shoot at something, you have to stop and ask yourself, okay, all right, listen.
What are we doing here?
Yes. Where is this going? Because things are so bad now that you just uninhabited a planet for 50 years, killed some people. You just had to tell a Klingon twice to shoot at something. Shit's gotten deep. And you pushed Cisco far enough.
A lot of people don't give that episode its due. And
so to me, I think that right there is a trait of a good character that we're not prepared to put down as this is what could be a good trait. It could be that if someone needs to be stopped, and you need somebody that's not going to stop at anything to get the job done, it's Cisco. If you were to tell an admiral, and let's say that there was an admiral that was fully briefed, that was told, okay, listen, before you say yes or no to anything, here's what it will take to get the Romulans into the war. We're not suggesting who would do it, but here's what it would take. You need to get a senator onto the station. You need to blackmail a thief. You need to plant evidence that would implicate the Dominion. Here is all the shady stuff that you need to do to save billions of lives. Who do you think would be the one to accomplish that? You know what the answer to that is going to be, and you know what you would be glad to be able to have that answer? Cisco. Okay. If somebody needs to get it done, and it is going to take all kinds of shitty back alley dealings to get it done, and there's only one person who will push the envelope and get it done, and that's Cisco, well, is that not also a good character trait?
Like I said, he's a fantastic character.
Yeah.
Not the best Starfleet captain, though.
Sure. No.
A real Starfleet captain would have found another way to get Eddington.
Sure.
A properly thinking Starfleet captain. I think Janeway, for example, would have found a way, or would have just left.
No, Janeway would have just murdered everybody. Janeway would have been like, you know what? Put them in the transporter buffer, merge them all together, and then I'm going to merge them apart, and then do it over and over again.
And see, here, sometimes you need that. Here, I'll put it up again. Cisco has that dark nature to tap
Mhm.
into,
Mhm.
but he's able to come back from that.
Yep.
And the thing is that sometimes you need that. Sometimes your best person. Now, this is the person that you don't bring out for every situation, but there may be scenarios where you need that person who is able to tap into the dark side and then come back. That's the key. Can you tap into it and then come back? Anakin Skywalker could not. Tapped into it, couldn't come back. Mace Windu, that read his backstory, his back history. He could tap into it. He came back. That's he rode that balance. And I'm trying to think of any other character. I know Star Wars has all the good examples, but in Star Trek, Cisco really is the only one I can think of. He could tap into that dark nature, but the thing was, he was able to come
what you're
back from it.
saying?
Oh, who was
Is
the
that-
captain that ran Ransom
Captain Ransom
from Equinox? He tapped into the dark side, but he couldn't come back.
couldn't come back. That was the thing. I think that is what we should think about when we bring up this topic about Cisco. Is that he was able to go there and come back. And you're right. His rank was captain, but he was not a starship commander.
I think there's
he
and
ran
the
a
word I was looking
station.
for before is parameters. There are different parameters to Cisco as a captain. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Picard is a captain. He's a captain rank. He's in command of a ship. Cisco is
The
captain rank
flagship of
in
Starfleet.
command of a station. Right. Exactly. It's a whole different game.
Yeah,
Picard would not have gotten the Romulans into the Dominion War. I'm going to tell you that right now.
No, he
It would
probably
not have
would have found
happened.
probably would have found a diplomatic way to do it,
And we would have
but
lost.
probably wouldn't have been able to.
And the Federation would have lost the Dominion War.
Yeah, and it was a necessary evil.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Pale Moonlight is my favorite episode.
Mhm.
I mean, that's the thing though, is that when you get into war, it gets messy.
Yes.
Like people
War is hell.
when it comes to war, especially a war that you're not winning. I mean, moral lines get blurry, like
They
super,
do.
like
Mhm.
negative
Mhm.
6.5 blurry.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, look at wars on our planet.
oh yeah,
I was just about to bring that up in World
I
War
mean,
II.
wars on our
Mhm.
planet. When we're winning, we're still really shady.
Yes. Well, think of this. I encourage you guys to go back and watch as many documentaries, movies, a series about World War II. A couple good ones that I'm going to use to make this point was it Band of Brothers that took place not only in the European front, but also in the Pacific?
You had
Or
Band
was that a
Brothers,
different show?
Band of Brothers was the ETO,
Yeah.
and the Pacific was in the Pacific.
It was the Pacific with
it
James
was a-
Badge-Dale in it, the guy that was.
I think so. Yeah, it's the same production company, same production
Yes.
staff, and everything like that. They
Okay.
just
So
So, yeah.
here's a thing that I'll use my example here, and we've got to wrap up soon. We're past our hour. We're past our abruptly ending the live stream portion of the live stream.
having fun.
Here is the thing. Okay, we created the atomic bomb. We're the only ones in America to have used it, and twice. But here's the thing. The part of the war that was against Japan. I'm no historian. I know there are historians out there. There may even be a World War II vet in the audience. But from everything that I have seen depicted, and there has not been any contradiction, whether it's a Hollywood or real, was that Japan was a country that was not going to stop.
No.
It
They
was
were arming
never
civilians.
going to happen. Yes, there was a way to defeat Germany and still be on this side of morality. with Japan, that was not going to happen at all.
They were going to fight to the last.
Yes.
Their population was told the West are evil and will do nothing but evil to you.
And then we
Yes.
dropped nuclear bombs on them. I mean,
so when they were told that the West were going to come in and they were going to do evil, you do your best and fight to the last. They were going to do that.
And the thing is,
the projected casualties were going to be in the millions.
You're right, Brian. Invading Japan was not an option. It just there was nothing. It would have been.
I think they would have rather have nuked every major city on Japan's island before any kind of invasion.
Yes.
That's why they dropped the second one. They're like, look, we're not just dropping and then, we will keep dropping.
We're going to show you, we're going to keep doing it.
Keep dropping until you guys surrendered.
That was them saying, look, it wasn't just a one-off. We have more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was only then that the Emperor actually went, guys, it's over.
Look what it took. It took that and no less.
A necessary evil in my eyes. I mean, it was horrible. Absolutely, absolutely horrible.
But Cisco did the same thing.
It put an end to the war. And
right.
Cisco, I suppose.
I mean, I think the problem is that Cisco seemed to use it for more of a personal gain, not a personal gain, but like he definitely was after Eddington. It was personal. Definitely. Yeah, it was personal.
Eddington had shamed him.
Mm-hmm.
He stole stuff and turned his back on Starfleet under his nose.
And I mean, another thing that they could have done in this, and I know you're trying to end, Jeff, and this will be my last thing on this episode, but right. I think one thing that they could have done maybe a little bit better is maybe put Cisco in that position and then have maybe like someone remove him and then they make the call, basically just saying, this is too personal for you.
Maybe that's what you needed. Maybe it needed to be personal.
Mm.
There
are good arguments for both sides.
Yeah.
But like I said, fantastic character, brilliant character.
Look at this right here. Even after the bombs were dropped, many in the military were refusing to surrender.
And the Emperor, who had until that point not said anything because he didn't want to risk. I can't remember the exact reasons, but he basically didn't want to risk civil war and stuff like that. He didn't say anything until he saw the power of the bombs and went, right, you know what, guys, I'm using my my powers here.
And that was all we had. Imagine if they had called that bluff.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, there were armed forces from Japan in the Pacific that they didn't stop fighting until, what was it, years later? Was it years or months later? I don't remember.
The last guy surrendered in the 70s, I think. He was doing guerrilla. He was left. There was about 5 of them left on this island somewhere. I think it was Guam, actually. May have been somewhere in that area. And he didn't believe that the war was over until his original commanding officer that gave him the orders to stay in this island and keep it for Japan until forever, until you were dead.
See,
only then did he come out, and he was pardoned and just let go. So yeah, bombs, very controversial, but I think were required.
It was. So our last thing here, we'll end on this message from the 51 Project. When is the completed Axanar being released? Here's the link to the newsletter. It's right down there. The ticker banner that's going.
And isn't it? It's in the description as well. If you just want to click on it, if you don't want to type anything, you can. There in the description. There is a click that you can click a link,
and it'll tell you we're projecting autumn.
End of summer.
Fall.
Oh, is it fall now?
Late summer, fall time. It all depends on how quick the VFX artists can work. Remember,
listen, it's like Marvel Studios, man. They keep on they keep on pushing things out. Like it's the nature of the business.
That's him. That's the guy I was talking about. Hiro Nodo. and he had killed quite a few people in his guerrilla tactics in the 60s and 70s, but they pardoned him because he was just doing what his duty was at the time. Yeah.
So there you go. All right.
That's
so
that's what I was talking about. Yep.
Yeah. So yes, we're going to stay tuned on the newsletter. We are expecting Axanar at the end of the summer. VFX works are underway, and I believe that was talked about at the last live stream. I wanted to be on that, but I was not able to make it last week.
Nor was I.
Alec gave us a brief look at some previses, which
okay,
were quite cool.
Okay. Since let's take another minute or two. Can you give us like just a quick over the world view of what the last week's talk was with the VFX, just to give a quick update for anyone that wasn't able to make it last week?
There's a team of people. Someone does the previs, make sure that gets that's roughly what we want, and then it goes off for proper rendering, and then there's a polishing artist, basically. Someone who polishes the scenes up and makes them look the quality that we're looking for. And these are people, they do this all in their spare time. One of them I think is a full-time VFX artist. But the rest, they do it in their spare time, and just like any fan films, it's down to how much time that they have when things get produced. So
yes, and we are getting there, folks. Principal photography was finished in January. I was there. I saw it. We're moving along. VFX being worked on. So
just remember, Alec is paying Jefferson to say all this because it's not actually happening, according to some people.
Indeed.
Alec actually just ran with your money to an island.
Indeed. Yes, he did.
And he's paying Jefferson to say these things.
He's buying car tires.
I'm gonna have to make my flight for that vacation to the island. I have to work on my tan because it don't laugh at that. I need to get some. Excuse me.
Pasty white boy sitting here talking about someone else's tan.
I need to get some sun. Yeah. I don't like how you laughed like that. That laugh was a little too hearty.
you that was right in my wheelhouse for humor. We call it black humor.
Why's it got to be black over there, huh?
Or dark? Now
it's dark.
It makes it worse when you call it so dark humor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What do you mean dark?
You don't have light-skinned humor, huh? How about that?
Oh, that was brilliant. There you go. Warhammer and sex toys. There you go.
Oh man. Yeah, yeah. Where's my Jarama Rob or whatever that? What's the not the Toxu Tot. What's the thing I got to put in my carry-on? The the thing that Riker gave Picard and set him up.
The Horgon.
Yes.
The Horgon.
Yes.
Okay. The Ryzen sex symbol. Basically.
Right.
Hey, my friend carved one of them.
Can we get these extra U's out of humor? I mean, there's
he's down in London. He's speaking
banned.
Queens. Oh no, it's actually King.
One of your folks just adding U's to words, like just whatever. I'm sure Parliament is trying to find a way to add a U to Star Trek. It'll happen.
Star Trek.
Yeah.
Star Trek. There you go.
Don't do it. All right, everyone.
I'm changing the card behind me so that it's got a U in it for next time.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Really? You would do that? Man.
I will do that.
All right,
if I remember.
Listen, I need to abruptly end this live stream. You keep bringing up new stuff. Stop
CBS is here. CBS is coming.
Yes, CBS is here.
The suits are coming. The suits are coming.
They've been waiting. They've been doing this. They're at my door. They're ready for the cease and desist.
Actually, right. there is a black van outside.
See, so we have to wrap it up here.
Mine's a white van, and it has something written on the side, something about free Taylor Swift tickets. I don't know why.
Ooh, what section?
I don't know. No, you ever hear the white vans with like the free something on the side,
Of
but they're
course,
actually
but yeah,
getting at
what,
people?
Free candy?
what section of the concert? I'll take Taylor Swift.
I don't know,
tickets.
whatever section the pedophiles are in. Who knows?
Right. Okay. So there's a black van waiting for me and Alexander. Cheetah
gotta
has a
be
white
black?
van waiting for him.
They know their audience. They know their audience.
I
They know
can't
that's they know how to capture Cheeto.
Listen. We win the bet. We said that we could get you to go to an hour and 15 minutes. We said I bet we can get Jefferson to trudge along until an hour and 15 minutes this week, and we succeeded.
I owe you $1.
Can't believe you guys.
$1.
It was a setup. All right, everyone.
$1.
All right, I'm abruptly ending this live stream. Goodbye. Peace. Live long and prosper.
Have a good one, everyone.